Well, you folks will have to excuse me for that last outbreak, but to continue with my little stories that I have, like I said in the written part there, it was craziness on all of the escorts that we had. And everywhere we went, we would walk through the hallways, employees would stop, and we had Sonny and the rest of the guys would have to kind of like nudge him along, because if he stopped at any time, and we would just keep walking, we'd look back over our shoulders, because if he stopped to shake a hand, or if somebody said, "Elvis, can I get your autograph?" You know, everybody was ready to say, he said, "Well, we have to get backstage, you know, we can't do it right now." Elvis would inadvertently stop, shake a hand, give an autograph, and we would, Elvis and Red and Joe and everybody would kind of nudge him along, you know, keep kind of pushing him to get going, and we would continue with the escort, which would take us, if we came down from the 30th floor, we would get off at I believe it was the 32nd floor. Oof, now I'm really going back. But we would have to walk past the employee cafeteria, and everybody would, sitting there eating behind the enclosed windowed area for the employee cafeteria, would notice that he was walking by, and they would all jump up and scream and holler, and just some of them would run over to the windows and you know, say, "Hi Elvis," and then he's waving back and carrying on, and we would continue down and around the corner and you know, try to get back to the stage area. At one point we would have to get back on an elevator, get down to the main floor and walk past the kitchen area for just a short little walk, and which would bring us to the time office on one side and the main showroom on the other of the hallway. So we would turn the corner, and again, sometimes somebody would sneak by security, and they would be back there hiding in the hallway, and mostly girls, of course, and they would jump out and say, "Elvis, Elvis," you know, and we would, you know, push them aside, but you know, Elvis would say, "It's okay, it's okay," and he'd stand and shake hands and stuff like that, and the guys are still nudging him along and nudging him along, and they'd ask for a kiss, and he'd bend over and he'd kiss them on the cheek, and we'd scoot him as fast as we could down the doorway, down the steps to the basement where the dressing room area was, and almost immediately at the bottom of the steps in those days was the main dressing room to the right. So we would scoot him in to the room, and all the guards and his entourage would follow in and turn around and look at us, and he says, "We got that one, you know, all done." So we would, they would close the door, and we would stand outside, and that was our job. All we had to do was stand there and wait for him to, for instance, get dressed, get ready for a show, and then just, this is so crazy, but we would, he would come out of the dressing room, and it was only 3, maybe 4 steps, 5 steps to the elevator, and we'd all get in the elevator and just go up one. This elevator only went 1 floor, from the basement to the stage, and of course the stage back to the basement. So he would get on the elevator, we'd take him up to the stage, the door would open, and him and his entourage would walk past the band that was sitting there, you know, waiting for the curtain to go up. The comedian at that time was out front of the Golda Meir curtain. So he very quietly would walk from the elevator to the opposite side of the stage. And that was the side that he, when the music started, he would enter from.